Never give up your dream. Cook with passion and select the best products.
The importance of freshness, seasonality and innovation with ingredients has always been driving factors in my cooking style.
With this cooking philosophy, chefs are always ready to go around the world to explore diverse cooking styles and ingredients. In Vietnam, Hanoi is one of the many interesting destinations foreign chefs come to visit.
My strong French base have been twisted with everywhere I go in the world, and today it's in Vietnam, and I'm so happy to be here.
I think just bringing something different.
Học được về cách chọn nguyên liệu này, rồi cách phối hợp các nguyên liệu để khi mà em cho vào chế biến này, rồi cách trình bày món ăn.
Our first chef today will be Julian Robichaud.
Cooking is a good way of presenting yourself to others, and it's a good way of seeing people happy because of the food that you produce. I cooked with my brother, but I learnt from my mother. My mum was a very good cook, and she'd always try new things. She'd always be going to cooking schools. Anything that was new and available to her in Australia, she'd always be learning and then teaching us. And at home we would always have different food. So we'd have Italian, we'd have Chinese, we would have French, we'd have anything that would blend the flavours together. And just from there, I always liked cooking. So it just became a natural thing to do.
Julian Robichaud always wanted to be a chef, from watching his very good cook of a mom in the kitchen and dreaming of creating beautiful fresh dishes. He has seen this dream to fruition as executive chef of Melbourne Racing Club's Coalfield Racecourse. This is Chef Julian's 5th time in Vietnam. He's here for the Taste of Australia event.
This is my second tasting Australia. Last time what I did was, came in and it was all sort of like new, and then as start to change things around to make sure that the local people that were coming here and all of the other guests in JW Marriott were appreciating the food and that we had everything for everybody.
On this visit to Vietnam, Chef Julian has brought with him the flavors of Australia. He's working with kingfish, eel, veal, lamb, and shortbread. Apart from using organic ingredients from Australia, he's also using a distinctive cooking technique that combines Vietnamese and Australian flavors.
The first dish we started off with was Australian kingfish, served ceviche style with some lime juice, some Bundaberg Australian rum, some banana flour, and some coconut water. So just to refresh the nice clean flavours and fuse a little bit of Vietnamese flavours and some Australian flavours together.
Another mixture of Australian and Vietnamese flavors is eel and veal. Poached milk-fat veal with a potato, and eel branded with leeks, and a sauce made of local Hanoi cider.
Well, sauce Normandy is a very classical French sauce, but using some local ingredients, so reducing down the apple cider right down so it was nice and thick, balanced it out with some cream, some mustard, and a little bit of vermouth. Then just at the end, whisk in some butter, so give it some body, and just season it for taste before you serve.
Chef Julian says that Australian people like to think about themselves, and that in Australia people are far more relaxed and seek locally and sustainably produced ingredients and fresh, unpretentious recipes. It is this spirit that has followed him to Vietnam on this trip. He's come here with saltgrass lamb, which is a unique Australian product. Saltgrass lamb has a sweet and tender taste when paired with salt polenta, green olives, and chimichurri that you just won't find anywhere else. Lamb that doesn't have a smell. Why is that?
It's actually the lamb, the type of lamb itself. We use not the Australian lambs. The Australian lamb is very young. The local lamb that you have here is older and larger, so it will always get that smell. So you need to have something that's small, and it's also what it feeds on. If it feeds on really good grass or it lives in a really good environment, then it's always going to taste like that.
Bản thân mình thì đã thích những cái món ăn khá là mềm ấy. Trong cái 4 cái món ăn mình thử thì có cái món là rất ấn tượng, đó là món thịt cừu. Thì cái miếng thịt thái lát rất là mỏng, và khi cho vào miệng thì cảm giác như là nó tan chảy luôn, rất là dễ chịu và rất là ngon. Thứ hai là nó đặc biệt hơn, mình rất thích cái nước sốt mà mình cảm nhận hình như đấy là từ ngô, và một cái nước sốt được cho vào cùng và trộn lên cùng với cái bột ngô đấy, thì là làm cho cái món ăn nó vừa ngậy nhưng nó lại không ngán.
Another Australian ingredient that Chef Julian has brought here is cake cream short rib. The rib was cooked in a thermal immersion circulator for 72 hours and is served with celeriac puree and a truffle sauce prepared with Australian Shiraz and a rich beef stock. Chef Julian has not only brought Australian flavors to Vietnam, but also introduces the specialties of his country.
This is a very modern way of preparing the dishes, and this is what we do, this is what I do back in Australia. So trying to play on the techniques that we use, but also presenting good Australian beef. I don't know if you know about Cape Grim, but Cape Grim is a tip of Tasmania, and it's actually voted the cleanest air in the world. It has no growth hormones, it's grass-fed, and they're just happy cows. So then you get very, very good beef.
Cái món sườn bò này đặc trưng, em nghe đầu bếp nói thì là nó đến từ một cái vùng là Cape Grim, một cái hòn đảo ở Úc. Và khi mà em ăn thì em có thấy cái thịt nó rất là mềm, nó béo và nó ngọt. Đồng thời là như là có cái nước sốt là được nấu từ cái nước xương bò và một loại nấm là nấm truffle. Nó là sự kết hợp rất là hoàn hảo.
Visiting chefs often bring their signature dishes to Vietnamese diners with a mixture of their nation's cuisine and Vietnam. The second chef introduced in this episode is not an exception. His foundation is French cuisine, but his cooking style is a mixture of French and Asian ingredients. He is 3 Michelin star chef Bruno Menard.
Hi, I'm Bruno Menard. I'm a French chef living in Asia for 25 years, but it's the first time I'm here in Hanoi. I'm gonna cook special menu specially made for you, so come to see me, come here.
With excellent talent, Chef Bruno Menard creates unique dishes by combining Asian and European ingredients and cooking techniques. The dishes include king crabs served with pickled daikon yu curry, anori and yuzu, Beetroot and scallops served with pink peppercorn, vanilla, and sesame dressing. Cod that is steamed with an emulsion of Chardonnay broth, eggs, ikra, potato, and extra virgin olive oil. And maroon chocolate and agriot with the flavor of black forest, white chocolate, and liquorized chantilly.
The menu we've done here today, we try to combine who am I really, you know, meaning French cuisine, but using also local ingredients, trying to, when I'm talking about local, I'm talking about Asian, and if I do it again sometime, I'm gonna learn so many things going in the market here. I'm gonna bring new things, and next time I'm gonna use typical Vietnamese ingredients.
The fresher the ingredients, the more delicious the dish. For chefs, ingredients keep them returning to places of inspiration.
More years ago, it was in 89, I went for the first time in Asia, and it was in Bangkok, and I was amazed by the colors. I was amazed by the spices. I was amazed by the flavor of the food, that everything was brand new to me, absolutely brand new. And I remember tasting a curry just with my finger like that, but I remember the sensation of burning hot inside my body. I promised myself that I'm gonna come back one day in Asia, and I did it, and I did it for the last 25 years of my life. So it was definitely the kickoff of something, this first trip in Asia, in Bangkok, and it was the beginning of many other things.
Chef Bruno's food adventures have brought him many new experiences. At a masterclass in Hanoi, Chef Bruno Bernard not only introduced each ingredient, but also gave tips for cooking. For the first appetizer, king crab, he prepared a potato mayonnaise, and his tip for cooking potato was:
We take the potato, and we're going to put that in a plastic film paper, put that in the microwave about 10 minutes. It's a trick for you if you want to cook at home very quickly. You put a small knife inside, and when it's soft, that means it's cooked. In 10 minutes, you have a potato which is cooked like that, and dry, no full of water, and keep the flavor inside.
For the king crab dish, apart from the main ingredient of king crab, there's also a few side dishes of pickled daikon curry, anori, and yuzu.
Here we have daikon. I pickle the daikon. You know, that's a technique we use a lot in Japan. Pickle is just vinegar here. We put sugar. We put a little bit of sugar, vinegar, water, salt, and some spices. We have cinnamon, we have star anise, we have clove, and in between each and every one of the layers, when they pickle, we put a little bit of yukari and aonori. Aonori, it's a dry seaweed. Yukari, it's a dry shiso leaf, and it's salted a little bit, and give a very acidic flavor, which is very interesting in this dish. All right, almost finished. We put a small zest on top.
The second dish is evidence of his unique cooking style, which combines his experiences and techniques to make food that is unlike others.
Okay, the next course is beetroot tartare. So the beetroot, something very earthy. You want to keep the flavor, which is very interesting of the beetroot. We cook the beetroot in a vacuum bag, sous vide. We keep the skin, we keep everything, absolutely everything. And we cook that in a steamer at 100 degrees for 1.5 hours. We cook that. So you got a very interesting flavor here because you keep the earthiness of the beetroot. We cut that in small brunoise.
Chef Bruno used many ingredients for this dish, including beetroot, daikon, grainy mustard, capers, potato mayonnaise, red onions, and many others. The one ingredient Chef Bruno most wanted to showcase was the geranium essential oil, which is very unique.
This gentleman is a good friend of mine. We were everywhere in Asia together because he wanted to meet chefs and different countries in Asia. And he's living in the south of France. And this guy developed the technique to extract the essence of flowers and leaves like that at 60 degrees. All of them everywhere in the world, it's 90 degrees. That means you have the real flavor, a very intense and fresh flavor.
The beetroot and scallop were decorated with many colors through the use of different ingredients. There are 2 layers in the dish. The first one is the mixture of beetroot with other ingredients. The second layer is the scallop and the sauce, which features the combination of pink peppercorn, vanilla, and sesame dressing. On top of the dish, Chef Bruno made a salad that features all ingredients in dish, adding some freshness and texture to it.
My salad. Cooking is a kind of language and communication. So I try to talk with the products, I try to talk with the technique, talk with the chef also, which is very important. But being specialized in Asia for the past 25 years allow me to mix those things because I learned a lot of things for the. So the fundamentals are very French because I'm a French chef, but my choices today are everywhere in the world, but specifically in Asia.
Cod is popular thanks to its mild flavor and a dense, flaky white flesh. It is cooked in the same way with potatoes, wrapped into plastic paper and then put in microwave for 6 minutes. Another important component of this dish is the emulsion of white wine and eggs, which are boiled at 65 degrees for 45 minutes with ikura, potato, and extra virgin olive oil. With this, Chef Bruno has applied a new technique that he can use wherever he goes.
My foundation is French cooking, but over the years, I learned the ingredients from Asia. You see, we are in Vietnam. You have a lot of beautiful fresh market, fruits, herbs, vegetable, whatever. So that's the treasure you have in your country, and the spices. So that's me today. That's meeting people, meeting different techniques, different countries.
With a diverse range of gastronomical delights, Vietnam has become a culinary destination for many French chefs. They come here to learn about Vietnamese foods, fresh ingredients, and the rich Vietnamese culture. In addition, they also come here to meet Vietnamese people and learn about their unique cooking techniques. These experiences inform and inspire their style of cooking.